And we are live. Hugo, first I'd like to say, uh, screw you, you Chihuahua. I can't curse yet because I'll be like 5 minutes. But screw you, Chihuahua. Uh, Things were running a little bit behind schedule on my end. It was my fault. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome my guests. You know, it's uh see now I'm getting like tongue tied now because I'm like
It's
it's been
okay. Slow
brushing
your roll.
so much.
Slow
Yeah.
down. You got
Slow it
this.
down, slow it down. Gotta calm it down. Gotta calm it down. So cigars with M, and if you don't mind, if you just want to get into telling us about yourself, what got you into cigars, and what your cigars journey's been like so far.
Sure. So that was a lot of questions.
Sorry,
And
sorry,
one
sorry,
time, it's
sorry.
okay. I'm just picking with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
But I will say thank you so much for allowing me to be on the show. I am grateful
No
to be
problem.
here and to be in front of your audience. Thank you so
Mm-hmm.
much. Thank you for everyone that's going to be watching the show moving forward. And I'm excited to be here. My name is Michelle. And I am the founder of Cigars with M, also the host of Cigars with M. So if you have ever watched my episodes or haven't seen my episodes, definitely challenge you to watch all of them, like binge watch them like a Netflix. Um, I am so excited to just be in the cigar community and have the ability to be in this space as a cigar educator and sommelier, brand consultant. Just I do so many things. Like I can't
Mm.
even just say, just one thing that I do. But um, I have the ability to just interact with so many different types of people. So I'm grateful to have that opportunity as well. As far as getting into cigars, I always have to give credit to my dad because he was the brave soul to um, teach me how to smoke cigars. But then that teaching led to just so much. And I am grateful that I have my dad still and we're able to still enjoy cigars together because it is always a special moment to have those rekindlings of our first time smoking cigars together and me learning. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm trying to remember the other question that you asked.
No, we can just stop it. We can just stop right
Okay.
there. Yeah, because you know what? Because you get so much information. I can do so many follow ups from there. So the one thing you brought up was a cigar educator, a cigar sommelier, and also a brand ambassador.
A brain consultant.
Okay. So sorry.
It's okay. I
So
don't ambassador for any other brand except my own.
okay, all right. So so just speaking on the educational side, what made you fall in love with tobacco and just the learning aspects of cigars in itself?
It's so hard to pinpoint one thing. I will
Mm-hmm.
say that for me, I really enjoyed the culture, learning so much history. I'm a history buff by nature. So,
Mm,
like, from the very beginning, since I was a kid, I always enjoyed history. And so, when I had my first experience smoking cigars, it was exceptional. I think really it just me entering over the over that threshold of like being a smoker and a non-smoker, it just opened my eyes to so much. And then me being the type of person that I am, if I like something, I really nerd out about it. So I mean, it could go from, if I like one thing, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to find out everything about this. It's a gift, honestly. I love that I have the
yeah,
ability to do it because I can definitely hyper focus on something and learn everything about it.
it's
But I
amazing.
will say that it is definitely the culture, the history, not ever being able to just like stop learning. And I love to learn, so that were those were some of the very important pieces that kind of led me into even more diving into the cigar industry. And so as I learned the knowledge, I naturally am a teacher,
Mm,
not as a profession, outside of, I didn't go to school to be a teacher, but I am a teacher, because I teach cigar education. And so for me, I took that knowledge and just kind of went with it and was like, okay, well, if I'm knowing this knowledge, then there's needs to be other people that need to know it. It doesn't need to just stay with me. I always believe that you should share the things that you have because you can't take them home to the Lord with you. So if
Mm-hmm.
you are using your time wisely by not gatekeeping and making sure that you're giving and showing people the way, because I mean honestly, like, people don't realize that when you show someone else the way, then they are more likely to then come and get you even more when
Mm-hmm.
you are, when they're further along. So it's like, for example, currently I mentor seven individuals, seven young professionals, and I have the privilege of being their mentor in whatever capacity they need, right? And so in that space, yes, I have a lot of things that I'm giving out and a lot of energy and things that I've done to get them to a certain place, right? But they are always like, hey, I saw this thing and I thought about you, and hey, I'm just checking on you to see how you're doing. It's little things, right? Because they're getting all of this information and all of these different all this energy, right? But they're not forgetting about the person that helped them. And so it's naturally that's a phase that happens. And so it's nice to be able to be in a space where I can teach and really just give back what I'm learning. So I'm grateful to be in this space for sure.
Yeah, I think the one thing about cigars is once you start really embracing on that journey,
Mhm.
you really get into it and you really want to know everything about the cigar, from the
Mhm.
wrapper to the binder to the you know to why does it taste this way, what
Mhm.
region. I was recently around Chico Rivas, which I'm smoking one of his cigars right now, the Mel Prius, and he's able to take a pull of a cigar and he can tell me what region it's from, what region wrapper, what region filler. He can look at the tobacco and say that this right here is Honduran tobacco. This right here is Dominican tobacco. And it's just like, how? He's like, I can tell from the burn lines. I can tell by how it burns. And
Mhm.
to be able to get knowledge like that, that's something that I think every cigar smoker that embraces this journey, and that, you know, for the people that review cigars, and for the people that, like myself, that's just host a podcast, you know, everybody that we want to know everything there is about the leaf.
Right.
And it's learning everything about the leaf, and it's just about the camaraderie, and that's amazing that you have seven people that come to you and that are able to ask you questions, and you're able to guide them on their journey. Luckily for me, I have Sanj. Sanj is like, every time I ask him a question, he'll look, he'll go, all right, this is what it is. So the one thing is, I gotta put my phone away, and he'll break down everything, and he'll break down everything that he knows, you know, about the cigars, where it came from, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. He's been open. Congratulations to Sanj, because he recently just passed 34 years of his business being open.
Well, that's great.
So congratulations to Sanj. I love you. And having, even just friends. Because being in Discord, and you find out people's palates, you find out, you know, how they rate the cigars themselves.
Mhm.
Because everybody has different rating systems. Because everybody, like, some people may like pepper bombs, some people might like Connecticut, some people might like sweeter notes on their retro.
Mhm.
And just learning people's palates and understanding. And you get an idea. Okay, like, all right, well, you know what? He's not gonna like this cigar because it's not in his wheelhouse. And that's one thing that I'm also learning, just being in the shop, because sometimes, if Sanj's doing business, I would have to take care of the front, and I will always ask somebody, okay, well, what do you smoke? So if we don't have it, I have to be able to go and give something in that wheelhouse.
Mhm.
So I would have to find maybe something from, that, if the let's perfect example. So, like, if you come in for a Garcia Garcia, I have to go, okay, okay, what is similar to Garcia Garcia that he can get that same kind of, it won't be the same cigar, but he'll be able to get that same kind of, smoke from.
Mhm.
So, that right there in itself just kind of goes to the cigar knowledge. And, the one thing also I bounce around a lot, but one thing I wanted to ask you was, what was your first cigar?
So my first cigar was a Tatiana Groovy Blue. My dad was very he was very clear about how this
Yep.
was gonna go. So he told me, "If you are, being taught smoking cigars in this space,
Hmm.
you have to smoke what I want you to smoke." So
Hmm.
he gave me a Tatiana Groovy Blue, and then, very shortly after that, I expanded my palate to more of the medium, mild, full
Yep.
body, cigars because I really wasn't trying to stay in that same space. So it was nice that I didn't, get stuck in the, sweet bombs.
Well, like my first cigar was actually the Isa de la Sol. That was my first
Okay.
cigar I ever had.
Mhm,
So from there, that was my first cigar, and I was in love with them for like the first 4 months of my smoking experience.
mhm,
So for the first 4 months, like I would still smoke regular cigars, but I was like, oh, my baby is that flavored cigar,
mhm,
until little by little you start getting more and more and more and deeper into the wheelhouse, and then you start going darker. So like, I started over with Connecticut's, and then after that I went too deep and started smoking San Andreas, and I was throwing up like every time I smoked one of them.
oh my
So I was like,
gosh.
okay, yeah. So I was like, okay, let me pull back a little bit. So then, I was going to like, medium, then medium full.
Mhm,
Now you give me anything, I can smoke anything now. So I've been smoking for around 5 years now. So I'm far from an expert, far from, you know, I know what I know, and I like what I like, and I don't try to overdo that. I always try to stay in my lane, and I never try to make it seem like, oh well, I know more than you, because
mm.
at the end of the day, you know, everybody's experience is different.
And there's so much to learn. I think
Exactly.
that, people saying so, "Oh, this is my journey and I just know everything and I know everybody." That sounds wonderful, right,
Hmm.
in theory, but, you really don't want to be in that space because then that
Yeah.
means that you probably need to switch industries because now you know everything.
Exactly.
So so
Exactly.
it's definitely good to be in a space where you're always consistently learning and you know what you know, but you're also just still opening yourself to learn so much more.
And that's the one thing too. And in the cigar industry, you never stop learning because everything always changes. Every three
Right.
years, because now everybody is on a big, San Andreas, kick. So for the
Mhm.
last year and a half, every company was coming out with something San Andreas,
Right.
you know, and it makes you wonder. Okay, so it's like, okay, so San Andreas is in now. What's gonna be the next rapper that everybody's gonna be using?
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, so what's gonna be the next? Is everybody gonna go back to Habanos, and you know maybe maybe they start using a different region of Habano, and then it's like, okay, well, this is working. Okay, well, this is what we can get our hands on. Now we can start, that would be the next big kick.
Mhm.
So, it's one of those things where the community is always changing,
Yes. It is always
and
happening.
you know, the agriculture is always switching up. It's always something different,
Yes.
and you know, like
Global
like
warming makes a difference too, and the
yeah,
weather, just weather
exactly.
in general, even without I mean, obviously, we always have global warming, but it's definitely the weather that makes a huge difference in how the tobacco is actually going to be for that season and how the actual farm is producing tobacco from there.
Exactly.
It's a process, let me tell you.
So besides your father, who else is your mentor?
In regards to smoking cigars, I would
Yeah.
say, to be honest, I wouldn't say that my dad is a mentor to me with smoking cigars.
Is a
Is
smoking buddy?
he is my smoking buddy for sure. What's so funny is that even though that my dad taught me how to smoke cigars, he learned so much from me, and
Yeah,
it's so
that's
nice
awesome.
to say that, right? Because
Yeah.
I try to instill the same knowledge that I know, to my followers, as well as to my dad, to my mom, to people who don't smoke that are in my family. Just from watching my episodes, they're
Uh-huh.
informed about cigars. So it's very nice to be in that space. I would say in regards to mentors in the cigar industry, I would say, Mr. David, who is, the owner of Georgetown Tobacco. He's a mentor
Right.
of mine. He, recently celebrated 60 years of Georgetown being open
Nice.
last year, so that's super huge. And if I had to think about another mentor, mm, I don't know, I have to think about somebody else, but I would say Mr. David. He is definitely a great mentor of mine. I love the whole Georgetown Tobacco family. They're amazing people. Teresa and David, they've been amazing people in my life. So I would definitely say that those two people would be on my list of mentors.
Yeah, nice. That's pretty awesome. That is
Yes.
pretty awesome. Like let me just say hello to everybody. What's going on? Sosa, Antoine, my cousin. I love you, man. I miss you. Sticks and travel. What's going on, my brother?
Hey.
You know, Texas vegan. I see you. I see you there. If Fred, what's going on, baby? What's going on? The season is over, so now our misery as Cowboy fans can stop. Our misery can stop,
You're a
and my
Cowboys
boy,
fan.
don't.
Oh,
I,
man.
don't we don't want to get it. My boy Danny Nipper, Javi, and fuck you, Hugo. It's past that time. I can say that now. Yo, Fred, I got you. Just send me your. I need your address, Fred. I need your address. Yes,
Yes, I
yes,
do
yeah,
have a channel.
yes, she does. It's so it's cigars with
Cigars
M,
with
right? Oh,
him. Mhm.
cigars
Yeah,
with M
cigars with him.
on YouTube.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So like, so when you're not into cigars, are you into also wine, whiskeys? So are there any other passions that you have
Yes,
outside of cigars?
I actually try to combine all of them with cigars. I know that that's funny, but I I spend a lot of time eating, drinking, sleeping cigars pretty much all my
Yeah,
life, right?
yeah,
Like it's just my life since I started smoking cigars has been that.
yeah.
And then just having a business, celebrating 3 years in July. So I'm
Congratulations.
super excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. In regards to
And
other passions, go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick, since you spoke on your bit, do you want to promote your next event? I
Yes,
see you
so
posting it online. Do you want to be a quick shout out for
thank
that?
you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I wasn't sure like when I was going to be able to do that, but I thank you for allowing me to slide this in.
Of
Um
course.
so I have a VIP with Mechelle cigar education event series that is going on. Can you still see me?
Yeah, we see you. We
He's
still see you.
okay. Yeah, for
Yeah.
some reason, like the screen just like went away, and I was like, "Oh my
Okay. Yeah.
god!"
No, you're
So,
good. You're good. You're
okay,
good.
so I have a the event series, cigar education event series called VIP with Michelle, and so I'm having 3 events per month for January or from January to December. And I am doing January to May is going to be in Richmond. And then the next location for the second half of the year, can't reveal it yet, but I definitely want to just invite everybody to attend the events from January to May, and then be on the lookout for information about June to December. In this event series, it will be small groups of 10 or less, being able to sit at a table like family, smoke the same cigar. We're talking about all of the different types of tobacco that are inside of the cigar. We're also going over, all of the kind of the smells and the taste, and just really breaking down every portion of enjoying this cigar together. And then not only that, people are getting one-on-one time with me. They're asking their questions. It's not feeling like, oh, I'm in this big room and I can't talk, or I can't ask my question. I wanted it to be very family oriented. So I'm excited about having some more personal time with people, and really touching base with all of my followers, and then new people that are new to cigar smoking as well. And the tickets are $30. They're on my website. So please, if you have me on Instagram, you can always go into the bio and click the link to find the ticket dates, as well as purchase your tickets there. And so I'm excited about it. First event is next week on Wednesday. So we are
Let's
coming in
go.
hot. Okay, we're
Let's
coming in hot.
go.
And the real cool thing I will say too is that every event has a new cigar sponsor. So every
Nice.
event is going to be different, and there's going to be giveaways. So you definitely don't want to miss it. Like, I don't know what you got to do to get to Richmond, but you need to make
Yeah,
it happen,
exactly.
okay? Because it's going to be fire.
Exactly. If you're in the DMV area, take your butt over to Richmond. All right.
Please do.
Exactly.
I would love to have you.
Yeah. And when you get there, tell her Innocent sent you. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mill, what's going on, my brother? How you doing, man? So, you know, now one thing I noticed in your videos is you're super, super professional. And I'm
Thank
like,
you.
and I'm because honestly, you sound like a new like you're presenting the news. Like I'm like I was like as I was wondering, I'm like, I'm like she has to have media training.
You know what's so funny? I love this. I love this right here. This question is my favorite. I love this question. Don't get it often, so I'm glad to talk about it. Um, so we start to like way at the beginning. Okay,
Yeah.
so I during COVID, my pastor of the church that I was going to actually called me up and said, "Hey, I really need you to do something for me." And I was okay, cool. Like, what is it? I'm thinking like it's going to be something small, like, "Hey, you need me to serve or something, whatever." He's like, "No, I need you to do the video announcements for church." And I'm thinking to myself, "Me? You want me
Mm-hmm.
to do the video announcements? Like,
Yeah.
you could have called all these people, but you asked me to do it." But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be obedient because I'm sure there's a
Exactly.
reason
Yep.
that this
Uh-huh.
is the case. I'm gonna do this, right? So I ended up doing the video announcements for about 2 years. And it was crazy because I was able to be myself. I was able to be, like laughing and joking, and but still being very professional, if that makes sense. Like being able to
Mm-hmm.
make little puns in there,
Yeah.
dance a little bit. So it was really nice to be able to do it. And I was reading a teleprompter. The script was made beforehand. I had to learn 2 scripts, as well as having the teleprompter in front of me so that I could, still follow along, which was really cool. So I was able to I would say that would be my media training, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then as I was even before that, when I was younger, I always wanted to be one of the many things I wanted to be was a newscaster. So it's so
Yeah.
funny that
It
I have
works
the
out perfect. Yeah.
right. It's so funny that I have the ability to do it because I really wanted to be on TV doing the news, but I didn't. I guess for me, I didn't want to do like you are seeing this person every
Mm-hmm.
day as like the channel telling the good and the bad news. I only wanted to give the good news. So like for
Okay.
me, segment about cooking or traveling, those would have been my sectors that I would have
Mm-hmm.
loved to have been in. So being able to have the opportunity to do that with my show and hosting it and really putting it into a form where people are able to get 60 seconds, 90 seconds, they're able to get a whole bit of information, and then they can rewatch it and also add their own little spin on when they're telling people, hey, I watched this episode from Cigars with M that you're talking about something about how to light. Okay, well, she has an episode on how to light. You're asking about why the color is on on the ash of the cigar. Okay, well, she's done an episode on the colors of the ash of cigars. So, like, you have almost a whole library of information that you can pass along and really use to your benefit, not just as a cigar smoker, but when you're inviting new people to be in the industry as well. And so over time, I kept with that same form, right? And then when I became, Cigars with M and started my show, it just was almost natural to do it. And it took me a little minute, of course, to get my kind of flow and what I wanted to have,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to be in this space more comfortably. But I was able to get that original, I would say, media training from me doing the church announcements, which was great. So
That,
I shout out to Praise Family Church for always holding it down for sure. Okay.
yep.
And teaching me everything that I knew from the beginning.
So you gotta get God is good.
Absolutely. God is good all the time. And He is the
There
only
you go.
reason that I'm able to be in this space.
There you
Always.
go. Like that's like of course, like I don't got no media trading, but you know what just going back, like the reason why I started, so why I started this podcast. Um I watched a lot of other podcasts and I wanted to be different. I want it to be something where the guests can let their hair down, be themselves. The questions aren't so really choreographed, but it's a
Hmm.
free flowing conversation. So by the end of it, they feel like we're friends.
Hmm.
It feels like you're talking to somebody that you knew all your life. And at the
Hmm.
same time, everybody has a story.
Right. Absolutely.
I
For
just
sure.
want to
And I,
be the person that gets that story out. So even when I do have cigar brands on, just
mhm.
I try to do a lot of stuff. I try to do a lot of stuff where it's 80% conversation, 20% cigars, because I feel like if you start going too cigar heavy, they'll go into the script and they'll go into the stuff that they said on other shows.
Mm.
So so my fellow Avenger, Fred, has a question.
Sure.
So he wants to know what's your favorite cigar. We spoke about that before the show. So if you want to get into it again, if you can give around like 5 cigars that ones that you go to, like that are in the rotation right now.
Oh my. That is such a loaded question. I always ask people, I mean, I always say that to people because
Mhm.
it's such a loaded question. You ask somebody who is a cigar educator what their favorite cigar is. I can't be biased. Like, I can't be biased.
No,
I'm party.
it's it.
But no,
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I some brands that I lean a little bit more towards
Mm-hmm.
in regards to 5 cigars that are in rotation. um I would always say I absolutely adore Martinez cigars. Everything
See,
that you have,
so you talk about my boys.
every time I
You talk
go
about
to
my boys.
Martinez, I love Jesus. That is my brother. You would have
Yeah,
never
he
thought that
they
we didn't have
they're a
the same
party.
mama. Like, that's my brother. Okay, period.
They
And
are a
so
walking party.
love
That's
them.
pretty much that's how I found out about you. I seen that
Really?
that that you interview Jesus. I told you like I usually go down. I haven't been there in a couple of months, but normally like I go there like twice a month,
Hmm.
and they're always it's nothing but love when I get there.
I love them.
Jesus and his guys, like they all like it's all and I'm like, yo, what am I gonna try today? He goes, get this one to try. But like I love the flat iron.
Mhm. I
And
love
I
this. So my favorite, I gotta tell you, since we talk about
go
this, because I get
go
excited
for it.
because I love them. Okay, those are my
Uh-huh.
people, my real people. I will say my favorite cigar from Martinez is the New York City Blend Queen. I absolutely
Mm,
adore that cigar. It doesn't matter what time of day. It doesn't matter if I'm having a good day, if I'm having a bad day. It doesn't matter. Like, I want that cigar for life. Okay. I just it's hands down the best Martinez cigar that I've ever spoken. I will
Mm.
say I do love the 50th anniversary cigar. I
Yes.
love it, but
50,
that
50 is
queen
great.
has me in a chokehold. You hear me? In a chokehold. I love that cigar, and I be holding on to them for dear life. Like nobody can have these cigars. These are mine. This is
So
it. I don't even want you to. Don't even look at them because they're not for you. Like
So what's one that I
they're.
also love too is it's one that they have like it's in the on the left corner and it just says Martinez on it, and it's a Connecticut wrap, and that Connecticut is fire. I love that. I love the 660.
Mhm,
The 660 is the go to. I love I love the I think the 5x54 San Andreas. So
mhm,
like anytime I'm in there, I'm always like, all right, because normally when I grab cigars for me, I always grab a couple of sticks for my boy Jamil because
mhm,
he also enjoys them. So
mhm.
so when I go up in there, I always grab like two of everything that I'm gonna be smoking.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I'm
they're
sorry,
amazing people. So I'm
they
I'm
are
sorry, we
amazing
got
people.
sidetracked.
No,
Okay, so
no, no, no. You
Martinez.
go, you go ahead for 10. You go ahead. My son is actually calling me during because he has to get the wrestling practice. So he needs me to call an Uber real quick. So if you guys want to go on about Martinez while I take care of this for a second, that would be great.
Okay, fine. That's totally fine. So I definitely will say the New York City blend Queen by Martinez Cigars. I like the Davidoff Anniversario. It's just an all time great cigar. Also a great cigar when you're trying to celebrate because it is, I mean, just exceptional. Like smooth every single time. Never have a problem with it. I will definitely say those two are, probably top two in that. I also like the Georgetown Tobacco Caucus 60th anniversary. That's a great cigar. If you're looking for that cigar on their website, Georgetown Tobacco, they actually have that cigar available for purchase in 5 packs. And Martinez, you can also find online the Anniversario. Most of the Davidoff authorized retailers do have that available. And then I would say the Punch Egg Roll. It's a classic. 2018 Punch Egg Roll. If you've ever had that, it's exceptional. I have a couple of them still left for me enjoying them over time because they actually discontinued the cigar. So being able to have this cigar is definitely a prize because they don't have them anymore unless you buy a bento box, which would mean you have to buy all four of them. And then lastly, Hmm, I gotta think about this one.
Mm,
Lastly, man, I gotta think about this last cigar that I would say is in rotation. Oh, the Aventura Blue Eyed Jack. That cigar was
mm,
great. Henderson did a great job with that cigar. That was actually cigar of the year for me. It was a great cigar. If you ever get an opportunity to try that Aventura, Henderson does a great job anyway. Like anything he does a great
right.
job. But I will say that Blue Eyed cigar is it's amazing. So definitely try that. Those are the five. Did you get to hear
Yeah,
the five? You want me to say it
yes, I
again?
did. Yes, I did. I heard the
Okay,
five.
great. Great.
But like, I tell you this, that Davidoff Infusario #1 is
Chef's
insane.
kiss. Okay,
It's
like
insane.
chef's kiss. Like I mean,
Yeah.
I've always been a Davidoff girly just because I know the process. Like I've been to Davidoff. I have, walked the fields with
Mm,
Hamlet and then, having conversations with Pedro, who's a master blender, and just having these experiences, knowing and appreciating the whole process
mhm.
it makes you just you have a whole outlook, a whole different outlook on Davidoff. Like people say all the time, "Oh, Davidoff is really not that great," or "Oh, it costs too much." And I'm just like, I understand what you're saying. I get it. I do. We're not shaming you for not trying Davidoff, but what I'm going to tell you is that the process is the process because that's what it needs to be. But also the
Exactly.
price is the price because there's so much quality that goes into it. Like me
Like,
personally, I've never had a bad Davidoff cigar, and I've been smoking
mm,
cigars since 2018. I have never had a bad Davidoff cigar, and I don't know anyone that has. To be real,
Yeah. So, it's still a few, like, I'm not the biggest Davidoff smoker,
Mhm.
you know. So but the ones that I do have, I really enjoy.
Right.
Me in the late hour, we gotta go one on one. We gotta go one on because I'm 0-3 against
Yes.
that stuff.
It's
I'm
a
0
great
3.
cigar.
It's great, but it knocked my ass out 3 times already.
Yeah. Sounds
So
about right.
me and that cigar, we got to go at it one more time.
You
And
gotta eat a
eh,
full meal, a big meal
yeah,
before you smoke it. You gotta drink. Maybe you should try like I don't know some soda water, or
yeah,
if you like
something.
whiskey, drinking
Yeah,
whiskey. But definitely drink and eat heavy when you
yeah,
have the late hour because it'll have you on your behind for sure.
yeah. So my boy Mill made up a great point. So every time I see Jesus, I go, yo, what's the word on the butter?
Mhm.
And he goes, oh, still. So me and Mill been waiting for, like, waiting since they announced it. We've been waiting to try that butter.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
waiting for. Hold on.
yeah.
Hey, fuck you, Peter. All right, I'm not soft. All right, that's let's get that straight. All right, you soft. All right, you in that shitty New Haven pizza up there. Yeah. Sorry. Some people gotta get the business around here. Yeah, but you know, um, man, when it comes to, like, you know, my, like, cigars that in, like, my rotation right now, of course, is, the SP Silver right now. Love that
Mhm.
cigar. I
I've
love that
never
cigar
had
right
it.
now more than the Charisma. Yeah, I gotta find a way to get that in your hands. Um, the Crown Head Belgian Blue.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah.
that cigar
Crown
right there.
heads always
Yes,
hands down.
shout out to John Hubert, man.
Yeah,
John is
he doesn't
amazing.
miss,
Du-
period, he doesn't miss.
yeah, it's very rarely where I'm like, this was not hitting for Crown Head. Like,
Mhm,
they're very consistent. I love Crown Head. Um, you know, like, I've been going to I like this one cigar called the Underrated by
mhm. The Luciano?
yes,
Yes, I
Ron
love
Harper.
Luciano, that's my
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah,
That was a great cigar. I actually did cigar of the week, with that cigar.
really.
It's a great cigar. So great. Let me tell you, Luciano is another person that doesn't miss. There's only a handful, like 2 handfuls of people in the industry that don't miss, and Luciano is one of them, period. Like
Wow. Yeah, sorry. My son is, like, texting me. He gotta get to wrestling practice. Like, the one thing with him is, like, I'm super hard on him when it comes to wrestling.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, like, I'm making sure that he's get that he oh my god, I messed up. I sent the Uber to the house. He's at the high school.
Mm.
So, big time dad mistake. Oh man. You see, like, I'm trying to multitask.
It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So I gotta cancel this ride. Uh, accept the fee. Now I have to go and reverse everything. Sorry. Look, this is what happens when you do it live. So, all right. So, yep, okay. For the sun. All right. All right. All right, the Uber's going for him now. Oh man. Oh, so uh, now I'm like tongue tied now. I'm sorry, but you know, back to the cigars I was saying. So I really like the that 15th anniversary
Hmm.
from EPC. I really enjoyed that stick. You know what the like I always like one thing I always tell people about when I'm smoking cigar, like I smoke so many, especially
Hmm.
like anything new, like the new releases, that it's very, very hard for me to keep track of everything that I smoked this year. So
Yeah.
it's
So what I
so it's
started to do is take a note. I put a note
yeah,
in my notepad. And so I
yeah,
started to write exactly, what it is that I'm smoking
yeah.
because there's no way I would be able to remember it.
But I always say if it's not in the rotation, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So um, you know, because of one of my guys, Sal, I've been smoking the Don Carlos the Shark. I enjoy that
Okay.
cigar,
Yeah, Fuente
and
doesn't miss either. You're
at
just
all.
naming like amazing people. Ernesto
Yeah,
doesn't miss with EP Carrillo. Like
yeah,
that Pledge
yeah,
Allegiance cigar was really great.
yes.
I like the Allegiance cigar, the Pledge. That was another great cigar.
Like and then like my go-to that I smoke pretty much every other day is the SP Red.
Okay.
Did you smoke that one yet when you were at the shop?
No, I wasn't. I didn't smoke that one. No, I haven't been to his shop. I actually just
Real
I've tried. Yeah, no, I
Oh,
haven't been to Sanjay's shop. I just know Sanj in general from cigar
okay.
community,
Okay,
and
okay.
then I actually had the opportunity to try. I think it was the black one, whatever the first one is that came out to like two.
Oh,
I
so
think it
the
was like
SP
a
Black.
20. Yeah, the SP Black. It was like
How'd
20
you like the black?
stores. It was
Yes.
good. It was a good cigar.
Yeah.
It was about I think it was about like 26 stores that got it first.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And one of my private cigar lounge that I'm a member of actually was one of the people to get it. And so
Mm.
that's how I was able to try it.
Oh. And you also know my boy Matty Rock.
I do. That's my buddy. I
Hey,
love Maddie. Me and him, we're like this. We have a special place in each other's hearts for
let me
sure.
tell you something. If you don't like Matty, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, because he's amazing. He's just amazing.
Matty
Period.
is one of
His
the
energy is
nicest people.
everything.
Yes, Matty is the man. I love Matty. You know, Matty, and they do the bourbon blog with him, Tom, and
I've
Sanj.
actually was on that one year.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd that go? How'd that go
It was
with Tom?
good. It was good. I was really grateful to have the opportunity to be on the show. It was a nice time.
Yeah, you know, like Tom is such a great guest because he has so much knowledge in the bourbon industry.
Mhm,
That like that's one thing I really want to get more like because I want to get different varieties of people on.
mhm,
I want to be able to get pit masters on. I want to be able to get because at the end of the day, like the cigar is just the meeting point.
mhm. And I also think too, you said you wanna get I wanna speak life into your podcast.
Oh, thank you. I
Do
appreciate
it. Reach out to these
it.
people. I would say this the thing is, I had someone say to me, earlier this year, just I know we're only 8 days into it, but this person said to me, "Have the audacity." And so I was
Mm,
like, "Okay, say less,
yeah,
okay?
exactly.
Say less." So, as you were saying, you wanna get these people on, reach out to the people that you want to reach
Yeah.
out to. If they don't respond to your messages, then that's fine. That's okay. They're gonna wish that they responded to your message when they see
Uh-huh.
everything going on. I have been reaching out to some of the biggest wine companies, some of the biggest wine magazines, the biggest
Yep.
cigar magazines, the biggest people that I can think of that are just what I would think are so big, right? I've been reaching out to them. And believe it or not, I have been getting a lot of responses. And I've been sending DMs to people through Instagram just
Yeah.
because I know people are super social right now. So
It's a lot
it's
easier.
easy to be able to do so, right? And so I've been being very direct about it. Hey, I want to do a cigar pairing event with you. Who is the best contact I need to reach out to? And people have been responding. And so I say this to you, have the audacity. Please do, because you're
Mhm.
literally holding yourself back. Nobody else is holding you back.
Mhm.
It's you that's holding yourself back because you have the ability to do so. And anything that you want to do, you can do. Just because you're not doing it at the moment that you want to do it doesn't mean that God doesn't have it in your plan.
Nope. It's you know,
Period.
period. You know, so you know, so like who would be like your dream guest
Dream guest on my show.
on your show?
So I would say, to be honest, I don't try to do interviews as much as possible, only
Mhm.
because I I'm not a Gail, and I'm not a Bubble Walters, okay? Those
Mhm.
are amazing interviewers. I will say that I try to take a spin on just having regular conversations when I'm doing
Mhm.
interviews. So when I do them, I typically do one interview at PCA, and
Okay.
special occasions I will do an interview in a capacity. Like, for example, I did the interview with Martinez with Jesus, and so that was something really special. I don't typically do it, but if I were to make a decision to have someone, like for PCA, for example, then I would say probably Carlito. As much
Okay.
as what's so funny is I love Carlito. Carlito is amazing, and I enjoy just like being in the same space with Carlito and talking to him and having conversations and connecting and asking cigar questions or asking questions about, just the different things that he's accomplished within the cigar industry. So I would say if I had to think of one person, I would say Carlito. Um, Also, Jeremiah Merrifield. I
Mhm.
had the opportunity to have him actually appear as a guest on my show as explaining about Cameroon tobacco earlier in last year. And so I was grateful to have that, although we didn't have a face to face interview where we're talking and interacting in the same space. It was nice that I was able to have him be a part of my show. It was so phenomenal. Let me tell you, I was literally like so giddy and like it was a whole thing because for those who don't know, Jeremiah Merrifield's family is the person who's responsible for us being able to have Cameroon tobacco from Cameroon. It has
Which is my
single-handedly
favorite
saved
tobacco.
the me too. Single-handedly saved Cameroon tobacco for the world from the time he did it for generations. So to be able to have someone like that in your corner and connect with somebody of such magnitude, it is truly an honor. So Carlito, Jeremiah, those would be two people that I would definitely want to have interviews with. And I would say, oh, there's so many amazing, I mean, just incredible people in the industry. I have to think of some other people. I
It's okay.
I need to
It's
be
all right.
making a list for sure because PCA is coming up, so I need to make a list on who I'm gonna be connecting with. But I will say my first year of doing PCA, I did an interview with Futamura, which is the company that makes the cellophane that goes
Mm.
on the cigars. That was an incredible time. So if
Yeah.
you have not
Wow.
watched that interview, definitely go on YouTube and watch it because it was so worthwhile, and I learned so much just even from me being in the space and having conversations with them and just allowing them to do demonstration. It was incredible. So I will say I try to really choose people in the industry that do something very unique. Like last year's episode, I did an interview with Mike Stouse, who is the OEM for Bovida. And so
Okay.
Mike's main job is to get Bovida packs inside of cigar boxes. And
Mhm.
so why that's so significant is because there are actually manufacturers that don't use Bovida or don't use a humidification pack in
Mhm.
their cigar boxes. So if you're not using a humidification pack in your cigar boxes, the cigar boxes are running the risk of not being in the right temperature. They could not be where they need to be as far as the temperature is concerned to get to the client. There's a whole lot of things into it. And so just being able to have a conversation with Mike was it was great. I so super excited to have had the opportunity to do that as well. Plus he's a good friend of mine. So having a good chat with your friend. So I would say overall, probably Carlito, Jeremiah. Reinhardt is another person I would say. He
Mm.
is the vice president of Marifil, but he is also a good friend of mine. And I would say, even though we are good friends, having an interview with him would be great because he's a wealth of knowledge and he has so many awards that he's won and not just in the cigar industry. He's won awards in bartending and spirits, and he's a sommelier in spirits and like in everything. So he's such a wealth of knowledge.
And it just all comes together
Yes,
because like
absolutely.
that's kind of why I don't know if you follow Master Your Ash, Michael Prisdale.
Sure, if I do.
So Michael's specialty is pairings. So he's more of a spirits sommelier.
Okay.
So he was actually trained by the creator of, I want to say it's bread and butter, but it's a humongous well, they specialize in bartending.
Mm-hmm.
So Michael learned from him,
Okay.
and now Michael is able to, he judges competitions on spirits. So his thing
That's
is,
great.
okay, what cigar, what would pair great with this cigar? So,
Mm-hmm.
because some people have, their normal pour, which would maybe be a
Right.
Buffalo Trace. But he'll go, you know what? Instead of grabbing that Buffalo Trace for that cigar, try this bourbon here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
it will add a lot of flavor. It will add so much more to that cigar and that experience. So
Yeah,
Michael
pairings
has
is great.
yeah, so he has an amazing channel on that. And you
Definitely
know,
have you send that to me so I can, take a look.
I
I would
will,
love
I will,
to watch,
I will.
his pairings, for sure.
Yeah,
I dabble in the pairings industry myself.
yeah.
So it's a great space to be in because there's so much you can do with it. When I'm having pairing events with cigars and wine or, cigars with spirits or cigars with food or, whatever I'm pairing with,
Mhm.
I think it's definitely a great space to be in, and it's so unique because people don't realize how many things pair well with cigars.
Mm. So one thing too is, like, especially when it comes to women in the cigar industry,
Mhm,
you know, how do you like do you ever feel like people, like, especially like if you're in a lounge?
mhm.
Because the one thing I noticed is that, like, if you're in a humidor, men try to be superheroes and go in and say, "Oh, try this, try that,"
That's a nice way
and
to say it. That's a
yeah,
really nice way to say it.
you know, like for me, I always like you know, I always think that women have very unique palates. Just because of, you know, Sanj always says, in order to have a great palate, you have to know spices,
Mhm,
and you have to know a lot of spices. So, a lot of people will go to the normal stuff that they know. But, you know, one day you might just have um like some Indian spice or just another spice from Europe, and you're like, "Oh, wow, hold up. Like, I'm not getting what I normally taste in it. I'm actually getting something that I tasted a while back at that
mhm.
restaurant."
Yeah.
So, you know, so, in order to be a wizard, it's like being a chef.
Mhm.
Because when you're also blending a cigar, you're kind of, in a way, becoming a chef, because you have to put certain things together to get that flavor that you want.
It's true. Very true.
You know, so it's one thing. One comparison that I always make is, you know, Sanj says that, his SP silver tastes like a malted milkshake, but if you're not experienced or don't know what malted milkshake is, you might just go with something standard as vanilla.
Mhm.
So, but he wasn't going for that vanilla. He's saying, when I put this together, I put this together for you to taste malted milkshake.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's something very interesting. But you have to go for a meeting, correct?
I do.
Yeah. So, you know, man, I'm s- guys, I'm sorry we started late.
It's
Michelle, I am
okay.
sorry we started late. I have to
It's
have you back on
okay.
again soon.
Yeah, I would
You
love to
know,
be back on your show. I mean,
yeah,
I don't want you to pause just right then. If you
yeah.
have another question, please go ahead and ask
Okay.
me. I don't want to stop you in the flow of your show.
No, like so, you know, just one other question that, always say is like, so, you spoke of your dad, but you spoke of your dad quickly. You
Mhm.
know, what are some of your favorite things that go on when you and your dad are able to actually have that time together of having that cigar together?
Mm. I love my daddy. I'm a daddy's girl. Can't you tell? Like it's
Mhm.
me. Like,
Yeah.
I would say we talk about everything and everything from finances, world news. We talk about, okay, oh, you're looking at this cigar. I'm looking at this cigar. Okay, what do you think about this cigar? And the thing I love so much about my dad is that he is a wealth of knowledge, but is always learning. So he and I have this just like we're like two kids in the sandbox, like
Mhm.
talking to each other, if that makes sense. And
So
it's so fun because we talk about just literally, I mean, everything. But I will say the favorite thing I love when we are together is that we always choose music to listen to together. So it'll be my turn. Like we'll go take turns. So maybe we're sitting and he's wants to listen to live music, and so he'll put some live music on YouTube, and then I'll say, "Oh, okay, all right, it's my turn. I'm gonna play some music that you haven't heard." And so then we're sharing songs together while we're smoking cigars, and we're having a conversation about the world, about finances, about what are my next moves,
mhm.
how I need to stay focused, all those kind of things. It's always very encouraging when we're having conversations smoking together, and I love it. Like I have been able to have more smoke sessions with my dad in the last couple of months because he actually moved up here to Virginia from Florida.
Nice.
So I'm super excited to be closer with my dad and spending so much more time with him as he's getting older. Of course, like me spending more time with your
Yep.
parents is super important, and
It's true,
so
yeah.
I'm glad that I had that
So,
opportunity.
only have one more question for you.
Sure, sure, go for it.
What was his reaction when you told him that you wanted to start this whole business in class you know, and you were like, I really want to get into this. So what was his reaction when you started your business of cigars with him?
So my dad has always been super supportive with everything that I've done because he knows that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And so he was really ecstatic. He was very surprised and ecstatic because he was like, "Okay, well, I know my child is going to do something different with this. Whatever I'm thinking is probably not what she's going to do. It's going to be like way bigger." And
Yep.
so and so he is super ecstatic, and I will say, like, even in the last couple of years, him just seeing my show really blossom, he
Mhm.
has expressed many times of how proud he is of me, and how the one experience that we had together just opened the door to creating a business that can create wealth not only for me but for generations to come. And so he is super excited and happy every time I'll tell him something that happened in the cigar industry, or something that I'm doing, or a magazine that I'm in, or I got to meet this person. And him just being able to know all of the basis because he's almost like an
Mm-hmm.
encyclopedia for me because I'm telling him, okay, this is the family that does this, and this is the family with this cigar, and if you smoke this, you had this family, and so
Mm-hmm.
he is just so ecstatic and happy and very much so proud, which I'm glad that he has the ability to tell me that and I can hold on to it and cherish it because being able to be
That's amazing.
in a space of being you're having your parents be proud of you is it's priceless.
That you know what, and that's the biggest thing is hearing your parents say, "I'm proud of you," is something I think that every son and daughter look for.
Hmm.
You know, and for me, it was always you know I want to be good enough fathers where my dad is like, "You're doing a good job."
Yeah.
Like your boys taken care of. You know,
Hmm.
you you do what you have to do to make sure that they're okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that right there is, to me, that's my biggest thing.
Hmm.
Like so every now and again, me and my dad would have a cigar, and he'll finish the first third. He'll barely get to the middle of it before he puts it down. He'll go, "I'm throwing this out." I go, don't you throw that damn cigar out. Just leave it to the side. I'll finish it later. So
You're
you
like, I
know
don't want you to waste a cigar.
exactly. I'm like, just leave it there. I'll finish. I'll finish it tonight when I for my last smoke of the night. So you
I
know,
understand that.
but
Well, it was such a pleasure to be on your show. Thank
it
you
was
so much.
amazing. Thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know,
Thank you for
you
having
know,
me, and thank you
no,
so much to your audience for watching and for asking questions. I hope to be connected to all of you soon.
yeah,
If you don't have me on Instagram, please follow me on Moments with Michelle, and it's Mechelle. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to touch base with you via email or DMs. I'm very responsive when it comes to touching base with people. I pride myself on not ignoring people.
uh,
I really like to be personable with everybody as much as I can, because I know like socially, sometimes you just can't get to everybody. But I very much
exactly.
so try my best
And
to
that's
at least
and
say
that's the
hi to
hard part
people.
too. Because sometimes you have to go to the where it says like that, like it's not spam, but it's called like it's like another inbox where like where people that aren't your friends
General.
end up. Yeah,
Yeah, general.
yeah. So you know, so sometimes, yeah, I gotta check there to see if I have anything in there from anybody that I don't know that might want to reach out. So you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
but guys, you guys know the vibes already. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Big Guilty Cigars. Until next time. And next time will be Monday, the 13th, where I will finally have Peter, Unbanded Cigars, the Cigar Collective himself, on the podcast. So that one's been a long time coming, and I bust Peter's chop every time I talk to him about coming on the show. So, Michelle, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Guys,
you. I'm grateful. Thank you.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful too. All right, and next time you're in New York City at Martinez, let me know, okay?
Yeah, I need to let you know because honestly,
Yeah,
I will pop up there in a second. Like,
yeah. Just let me know, and I'll slide through. We'll have the cigar together there.
okay, cool.
All
All
right,
right. Well, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so
talk to
much.
you
Have a
soon.
good night.
All right, guys, have a good night, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.